Julian Parker straightened his tie for the third time, checking his reflection in the restaurant's window. At 37, as CEO of Parker Industries, he was accustomed to high-pressure situations. But blind dates still made him nervous, especially when his business partner had described his date as a successful doctor who'll be perfect for you. His 7-year-old daughter Lily sat beside him at the elegant table, swinging her legs and coloring on the kids' menu. His sitter had cancelled at the last minute, and Julian's date had insisted it was fine to bring Lily along. Red flag or green flag? He wasn't sure yet. "Daddy, is the doctor lady going to give me a shot?" Lily asked, looking up with worried eyes. "No, sweetheart. She's just coming to have dinner with us. Remember, be polite." "I'm always polite," Lily said seriously. "You taught me that." Julian smiled, despite his nerves. Raising Lily alone after her mother's death 3 years ago had been the hardest thing he'd ever done. Dating felt almost impossible. How did you find someone who'd accept a package deal? Who'd love not just him, but his daughter? A young woman approached their table, and Julian stood automatically. But something was off. She wore bright red scrubs, with a stethoscope around her neck, her blonde hair pulled back in a simple ponytail. She looked like she'd come straight from a hospital shift. "Julian?" she asked. "I'm so sorry, I'm late. We had an emergency admission, and I couldn't leave until the patient was stable." "It's fine," Julian said, confused. His business partner had described his date as polished, sophisticated. This woman looked exhausted, rumpled, and completely out of place in this upscale restaurant. She noticed his expression and flushed slightly. "I know I should have changed. I didn't have time. I barely had time to get here at all." She sat down quickly. "I'm Emma, by the way, Julian, and this is my daughter, Lily." Emma's entire demeanor shifted when she looked at Lily, her tired face lit up with genuine warmth. "Hi, Lily. What are you coloring?" "A princess. She has a castle and a dragon friend." "A dragon friend? That's much better than a prince. Dragons are more interesting." Lily giggled. "That's what I think too." As they ordered, Julian tried to reconcile this woman with what he'd been told. His business partner had said doctor, implying physician, but Emma's scrubs and comments suggested nursing. "So," Julian said carefully, "you work at the hospital, County General, Pediatric Intensive Care?" "I'm a nurse there." Emma paused. "Wait, did Marco tell you I was a doctor?" "He may have implied it." Emma's expression shifted from embarrassment to irritation. "Of course he did. He thinks nursing isn't impressive enough." "I'm sorry. If you want to leave, I understand. I know this isn't what you signed up for." "Why would I want to leave?" "Because I'm not a doctor. Because I'm in scrubs at a fancy restaurant. Because I clearly don't fit here." She gestured at the elegant surroundings. "Marco means well, but he has this idea that I need to be upgraded somehow, like nursing isn't good enough." Julian felt unexpected anger on her behalf. "Marco is an idiot. And for the record, I don't care what your title is. You came here straight from taking care of sick children? That's impressive in any job description." Emma looked at him with surprise. "You really mean that?" "I do. My daughter spent 3 weeks in PACU when she was 4. Heart surgery. The nurses saved her life just as much as the surgeons did. More, in some ways. They were the ones there at 3 in the morning when she was scared and hurting." Lily looked up from her coloring. "I remember the nice nurse. They brought me popsicles and read me stories." Emma's eyes filled with tears. "That's what we do. We're there for the scary parts." The pretense of the polished first date dissolved. Emma and Julian talked honestly about their lives. She told him about working 12-hour shifts, about crying in the parking lot after losing patience, about the joy of watching children recover and go home. Julian told her about building his company from nothing, about losing his wife to cancer, about the terror of single fatherhood and trying to be enough for Lily. "I feel like I'm constantly failing," Julian admitted. "Work needs me, Lily needs me, and I can never be fully present for either." "That's every working parent," Emma said gently. "You're not failing, you're just being human." Lily, who'd been listening while drawing, suddenly announced, "I like the nurse lady, Daddy. She's nice. Can she come to my birthday party?" Emma laughed. "When's your birthday, Lily?" "2 weeks. I'm going to be 8. I'd love to come if your daddy says it's okay." Julian found himself nodding. "You're invited. Fair warning, though, it's at a Pentarone pottery place. It gets messy. I work with kids. Messy is my natural state." As dinner ended, Julian walked Emma to her car. She'd driven herself, still in scrubs, still looking exhausted. "I'm sorry I wasn't what you expected," Emma said. "You were better. More real. I'm tired of polished perfection. You showed up in scrubs because you were taking care of sick children. That tells me more about who you are than any impressive resume could say. You want to see me again, even though I'm just a nurse. You're not just anything. You're someone who saves lives and reads stories at 3 in the morning. That's extraordinary." They did see each other again. And again. Emma came to Lily's birthday party and helped 8 7-year-olds paint ceramic unicorns without losing her patience once. Lily declared Emma her favorite person after Daddy. 6 months into their relationship, Emma worked an overnight shift and came straight to Julian's house in the morning, still in scrubs, completely exhausted. She found him trying to get Lily ready for school while taking a business call, both of them stressed and running late. Emma took over without a word. She made Lily breakfast, helped her find her homework, braided her hair while Julian finished his call. When he got off the phone, ready to apologize for the chaos, he found Emma and Lily giggling over some private joke. "This is my real life," Julian said. "It's messy and complicated and not very impressive." "Good," Emma said. "Because my life is 12-hour shifts and crying in parking lots and going days without makeup. If we're going to do this, let's be real about it." 1 year after that blind date disaster, Julian proposed. Not at a fancy restaurant, but at County General Hospital where Emma was finishing a shift. He brought Lily, who'd helped him pick out the ring. Emma said yes while still in her scrubs, mascara-free and exhausted from a double shift, and it was perfect. At their wedding 2 years later, Lily was flower girl. Marco, who'd set up the original blind date, gave a sheepish toast. "I told Julian Emma was a doctor because I thought it sounded better. I was wrong. Emma, being a nurse, being exactly who she is, was exactly what Julian and Lily needed. Sometimes the best matters aren't the ones we plan. They're the ones that happen when people choose to be real instead of impressive." Julian added his own words. "I thought I needed someone polished and sophisticated, someone who fit my world. What I actually needed was someone who'd show up in scrubs, straight from saving children's lives, someone real enough to build a real life with." Emma didn't fit my expectations. She exceeded them by being herself. Emma smiled, holding Lily's hand on one side and Julian's on the other. "I almost didn't go that night. I was in scrubs, exhausted, convinced I'd be a disappointment. But I'm so glad I showed up exactly as I was. because it let us skip past the performance and get straight to the truth. And the truth is better than any first date fantasy could have been. The CEO who expected a polished doctor found something better in the exhausted nurse who showed up in scrubs. And the nurse who thought she wasn't enough discovered that being exactly herself was everything the right person needed. If this story warmed your heart, like, share, and subscribe. Comment about being real instead of perfect.